The Motorola Edge 20 Pro is the most costly Motorola phone a large portion of you ought to think about purchasing. Indeed, that is tossing conceal on the Motorola Razr 5G. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro is thin, accompanies a quick processor, a 5x zoom camera, and might record 8 Kelvin video. It incorporates 256GB storage when mid-value top choices. For example, the OnePlus 9 interest upwards of £700 for that redesign. You get an extraordinary spread of highlights in the Motorola Edge 20 Pro. Nonetheless, it doesn't go about as a benchmark in any of them. Rivals offer better speakers, quicker processors, more splendid screens, fancier finger impression scanners, and cameras with better processing or unrivaled low-light picture quality. So is the Motorola Edge 20 Pro a flop? In no way, shape, or form. Motorola has essentially decided to downsize somewhat in a couple of regions, as opposed to removing highlights through and through, as you frequently see in different phones at the cost. I'll cover every one of the exclusions in this survey. Yet whether this phone has a place on your waitlist will rely heavily on the amount. You need a Super Zoom 5x amplification camera. Design. The Edge 20 Pro has a smooth design by Motorola guidelines. It offers exceptionally fundamental water opposition. It has a side-confronting unique finger impression peruser. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro is one of only a handful of exceptional Motorola phones that doesn't feel to some degree pudgy. The organization's whole G-series line contains phones that are 9mm thick or more. It's a Motorola characteristic, one I'm dependably glad to disregard considering the phones accompany sensibly huge 5000 mAh batteries. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro design is somewhat more rich in any case. This phone has a profundity of 8mm, so feels thin without the packaged silicone case in which I've utilized it 90% of the time. It's likewise one of only a handful of exceptional Motorola phones that isn't generally made of plastic and doesn't utilize a less expensive option in contrast to Corning's Gorilla Glass for the display protection. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro screen glass is Gorilla Glass 5, and the back an undefined 3D glass, and that implies it bends along the edges. In any case, as such countless phones in this class, it's anything but a full metal and glass development. The sides are plastic. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro offers fundamental water obstruction as well. It's rated at IP52. And that implies it's protected against dust, however is simply rated to endure downpour and other water dribbles. This water opposition is like the nano coatings of other Motorola phones. Style-wise, the Motorola Edge 20 Pro fine. It isn't quite as unmistakable as Samsung's S21 series Android. However, the matte completion on the back glass is adequately charming. Similar as each and every other standard Motorola phone of this current year, you get a feeling that style hasn't been really important. Furthermore, the Edge 20 Pro's finger impression scanner sits on the phone, not inside the screen. In-screen scanners are viewed as the slickest method for opening a phone nowadays. However, this cushion is quick and dependable. A couple of days in, I wasn't left wishing the Motorola Edge 20 Pro had an in-screen scanner. The situation of the cushion is somewhat high, yet a decent ergonomic fit for my hands. The phone likewise has a Google Collaborator button. These are much of the time very irritating, and have a propensity for unintentionally being pushed down in your pocket, awakening the collaborator. Motorola has given a valiant effort to fix the problem by pressing the button far up the left half of the phone, and utilizing a lot stiffer instrument. It works. I don't think the Motorola Edge 20 Pro's Google Associate has been locked in once coincidentally. It's a brilliant and insightful little design change. Display. It has the best display seen on a Motorola phone this year. The high refresh rate board is perfect for gaming. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro has a 6.7 inches Full HD OLED screen, creating it the best board you can get in a 2021 Motorola phone. A 144Hz refresh rate is its most attractive element. Different phones might have 90Hz or 120Hz screens, however this one is much quicker. However, I don't think this is a genuine draw. Refresh rates this high might be perfect for super-controlled gaming computers or workstations. However, I see no undeniable advantage over the more normal 120Hz in a phone. We should get genuine. Motorola has utilized a 144Hz board here since it found one it could source at a sensible expense. It's a strong OLED display. There's just a slight blue color when it's seen from a point. Contrast is great, and you have a decision of 2 variety modes. Saturated is by all accounts in light of the local shade of the board, so looks very oversaturated. Normal is more held, and shows up better to my eyes. Ultra high splendor is the one unaccounted for part. However, what you in all actuality do get isn't awful in any way. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro stretches around 450 nits inside, ascending to 650 nits when in direct daylight, utilizing the versatile brilliance mode. While this isn't generally so high as the 1000 or more nits found in some top-end phones, I truly do track down it's sufficiently brilliant to serenely take photographs outside on a radiant day. Software and performance. It has a superbly spotless Android introduce. There are fundamental movement controls for things like initiating the electric lamp. It offers speed performance and 5G availability. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro runs an incredibly perfect rendition of Android 11. Motorola just puts one meaningful application on here, called Moto, and this controls the little additional items added to a connection point that could be mistaken for absolutely vanilla Android. Anybody acquainted with Moto series phones might have encountered these previously. Look display. The lock screen highlight previously referenced is the top expansion. There are likewise alternate route motions that can be empowered and incapacitated separately. 2 karate hacks flip the light. You can contact the screen with 3 fingers to snatch a screen capture, or contort the Motorola Edge 20 Pro 2 times rapidly to begin the camera. Motorola leaves the greater part of these handicapped as standard to try not to bother inadvertent use. It's successfully a changed variant of last year's Snapdragon 865 series chipset. The assembling process isn't quite as cutting edge as the more up-to-date Snapdragon 888 seconds, and its design's chipset isn't as strong. In the event that you need, however much influence that you can get for your cash, look at the OnePlus 9 or Realme GT 5G. Those phones have the Snapdragon 888, and the Realme is significantly less expensive. Nonetheless, I seriously love the Snapdragon 870 and the less expensive Snapdragon 860. Both get you lead-grade performance and let phone creators put a greater amount of their financial plan into different region of a phone. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro Snapdragon 870 obliterates 7 series chipsets. For example, the splendid Snapdragon 765G and 750G for gaming, and 3D Mark's Untamed Life benchmark. The Edge scores 4262 focuses. While this is around 20% lower than the score you could anticipate from a Snapdragon 888 phone, it's over 2 times the score of the OnePlus Nord, which includes a Snapdragon 765G, and that phone as of now makes a functional showing with top-end games. Camera. The phone has a triple sensor back camera arrangement. It offers 5x optical zoom. Camera quality is fantastic for a phone this cost. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro has 3 cameras, and one of them is this phone's star include. Up at the top sits a 5x optical zoom with collapsed periscope optics. This implies a 45 calculated reflect redirects light by 90 degrees onto a sensor that sits opposite to the phone's back, not lined up with it. These sorts of cameras should be costly to produce, since you simply will generally see them on exceptionally exorbitant cost phones. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is probably the best model today. It has a 10x periscope zoom and a 3x non-collapsed one. The Motorola Edge 20 Pros isn't exactly as great. However, it's the most impressive zoom I've utilized at this cost to date. It's perfect for gig photography, or those minutes you find something fascinating somewhere far off to shoot, just to find it looks horrendously little through a standard camera view. Battery duration. It has a more modest battery than most phones this cost, yet at the same time offers fair battery duration. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro's battery is more modest than that remembered for most Motorola phones. It's a 4500 mAh battery, where the vast majority of the less expensive Moto series phones accompany a 5000 mAh. A more modest battery, bigger screen, all the more remarkable processor, and 144Hz refresh rate seems like a terrible combo, isn't that so? Notwithstanding, I'm entirely content with the Motorola Edge 20 Pro's lifespan, and find it will in general outlive a few of the genuine leader phones I've utilized throughout recent months with the equivalent or comparable battery limit. The Motorola Edge 20 Pro offers 30-watt charging and accompanies a 30-watt charger in the case. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.